Hey guys, welcome back. This is God's on Goal, and I've got one thing to say is that they did not care until I put the mask on. Gyokeres, here we go. Finally, Arsenal have a striker, and we are all excited. I wish you could be able to see how happy I am. As much as it wasn't my first choice, it doesn't matter. There are people who are paid by Arsenal, executives. You've got the coaches, you've got the players, you've got technical directors, the physiotherapists, the doctor. Like, it's a whole business in itself. There are people who are paid to make decisions on behalf of Arsenal, and the least I can do as a fan is to actually support their decisions, especially when it means they're buying players to improve the team. So yes, I am categorically happy as an Arsenal fan. Of course, deep down I wanted someone else, but it doesn't matter at this point. We have a person who can put the ball in the net. And that is the most important thing that we were actually missing last season. There's that, and also our creativity as Arsenal. It was really hard to watch Arsenal games because we were just playing in the same patterns all and all through. Just give it to Saka. Saka makes something happen. Cross it to the box. Hopefully somebody jumps in it, or maybe get a set piece. A corner, a free kick. A penalty. It depends. Like, we were really boring to some extent, but at the same time we could understand that the team was suffering. A large portion of it was suffering due to injury, so we can also excuse that. Also, how tough the league is. You also see like teams like Manchester United finishing 15th, Liverpool having a run on the league alone without any chase, Man City failing, Chelsea resurgence, but they fell off at the most important part when they could actually sustain momentum and try and finish first or second. But yes, they managed to finish at least third, so that's good. They're in the Champions League, they won the Club World Cups, yada yada yada. Yes, there's a lot happening at Chelsea. They're also signing players, especially they're currently signing Jadon Hato. They're in talks, and also Xavi Simons, who was linked to Arsenal. So those two players were linked to Arsenal to some extent, but they look like they'll go to Chelsea. But as it stands, we'll be in for them in the next 2 years. Since Chelsea is like our small academy. But yeah, like what Ateta said, if Chelsea have good, he said that Chelsea has good players around them, and we can figure out like if you take a few guys, maybe things will change. It's because talent doesn't naturally dies. For example, Rashford has joined Barcelona on loan. You know, that's like a big move. That's a big move for him. It's a team that especially football players, if they were growing up, they would love so much to play for Barcelona. They would do anything and everything to try and play for that team. But turns out that doesn't really move them that much for Manchester United, like to let Rashford go, so they can just do away with it and sign whoever they want. But the main thing is right now is that now we have a striker. We are looking to sign Eze if we get the chance, and if money was available, because I don't understand why these clubs say all the time that they don't have money for signings. So that's also a thing that I find really weird, because you guys are billionaires. Come on, you can make something work. You can make something move. But yeah, those are the Kroenkes. They can do Kroenkes. Me, I call them the Kroenkes. Cronkies, the Kroenkes, however you pronounce their names. I think they're not necessarily trying, but they are showing that this club has a vision, needs actually quality players to improve on our side, to improve our chances of winning stuff, because that's what everyone wants. That is the whole dream of the club, is we be able to go through the whole season. You've lifted a trophy, whether it's the Carabao Cup, the Champions League, the Premier League, the FA Cup. It's really, really important currently because majority of these clubs are living on short-term success. And if you sustain success for about 2 3 years 4 years, is good for business. For example, Man City won 4 titles in a row. That is not a small deal. That's a big deal. It's something you know other clubs dreamed of, something that has never been done before. Like, for example, how Arsenal went unbeaten. That's also another thing. It's really important for clubs to improve their stature in the league. Look at Liverpool, for example. They just won the league the other day, and they've signed some really good attacking players like Ikitike, and then they have Florian Wirtz. They have players like McAllister in their ranks. I actually love Sosbolai. Sosbolai. I call him SpongeBob with the Z. Yeah, I like that play actually. I would love to. I don't know whether he'll ever play for Arsenal, but he's one player that I really, really admire from Liverpool, whose name is not Mo Salah, because Mo Salah is a great, great player. But nonetheless, I'm not going to sit here and try and glaze Liverpool, because now we are going to be rivaling them for the title. So I'll be sitting here like looking at the new signings. Like, I hope they don't click us soon enough, because we are heading to Old Trafford on the first game of the season. Old Trafford, like, that game has everything written over it. Like, for example, in terms of bragging rights, the number of times actually Gyokeres and his agents rejected Manchester United. The fans have their own law. The players will be hyped up. It's the first game of everyone wants to win the first game of the season. They have to make sure that they've gotten those 3 points in the bag, and they will be at home. Can you imagine winning your first home game? I understand how that feels. It's so good. It's really good winning your first, because I remember remember losing to Brentford when they were promoted to the league. It was actually a Ben White debut. Oh, that game was so bad. We lost the first game of the season. It was so bad. But we went on to have actually a very, very good run after that, you know. And we've come a long way from all those, funny, funny days that we've had. Because Arsenal has been in the pits for the longest time for the longest time I can remember. It hasn't been easy for each one of us, but we are here now. We are in a position now where we can actually compete. No team really faces us at this point. Like, I think the only team that they only go with so many doubts, it's Newcastle, because actually I kind of love Newcastle. I love Newcastle. As a Kenyan, it's very hard to imagine, like, I am the only one who loves Newcastle, because my dad used to love Newcastle to some extent. So I have a soft spot for Newcastle. I buy their jerseys all the time. I've said it previously in one of my posts when I was talking about football. I mean, it's one of those teams that I have a bittersweet feeling when we win against them or when we lose against them, because it's a team that is close to my heart, and I love what they're actually doing with the team at the moment. With the players like Isak, now they have Elanga, Anthony Gordon. I'd love to see Anthony Gordon actually play for us one day, if that is possible. Their midfield, oof, they have Tonali, they have Bruno Guimaraes, and what's his name? Joel Linton. Yes, Joel Linton is really, really good at midfield. At the back, Dunban, I think he's still there. Botman. On the right side they have Livramento. On the left they have what's his name? Oh, on the right they have Trippier. On the left they have Livramento. Back Nick Pope. So yes, I know so much about Newcastle, and I enjoy everything, and I try and watch some of their games if I could. Yes, on average I watch about 10 to 15 games that involves Newcastle, because I support the team. In terms of Arsenal games, I watch an average of 50 games. An average of 50 games. In the league, I watch at least 35 to 38 games, because I'm pretty sure, because there are some months that I normally travel, so I am sure that I'm going to miss a few games, maybe here or there, maybe due to one or two causes, but I try and follow up the game, whether it's through the app or on the phone or some other place, but I try and make time for it. Besides that, yeah, it's not necessarily that I love Newcastle completely, but I love Arsenal more. So yes, that is the game, and we're actually facing them on the third game of the season. So I'll have to, of course, I'll pick Arsenal for whatever reason. But yes, we're going to Old Trafford, and we have to win that game. It doesn't matter how we win, whether it's through a penalty, it's through a free kick, it's through a set piece, it's through like a hammering of that team, or a 1-0 to the Arsenal. We actually won a friendly today versus AC Milan. Bukayo Saka was really amazing. I don't know how I forgot to talk about that. Bukayo Saka was really, really amazing. It was really good. He played well. He actually scored the goal. Max Doman was impressive to see. Chris Nelson, Martinelli was good. I can see people complaining that, oh, his movement and everything, but it's just a preseason game. He'll improve with time. Remember, this is the guy that actually gave us a win against Real Madrid at Santiago Bernabeu. So I owe a lot to him. We owe a lot to him as a fan. So let's keep on supporting him. Havertz was good. Can't say much. Nogard, one of my favorite players. I loved how he played in the first half. He was so confident with his movement, passing range with Ethan. Ethan had a fantastic game, with him. Ben White also, I can't imagine how we miss Ben White all that time, because now that's when I noticed, I'm like, okay, we're actually missing a lot with him not being around. He was making some good passes to Saka, overlapping around. He was doing a pretty good, a decent job. Let's just say decent job. Kepa. Oh, Kepa was good on the penalty shootout. Actually, he saved, I think it was 3 or 4 penalties, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, he was good. Kepa was really, really good. There was some academy graduates, somebody called Josh Nichols, and I can't remember the other one. Maybe it was Solomon or something. Yeah, he was good. Lewis Kelly was kind of slow and everything, but I guess maybe it's part of the preseason thing. Saliba was excellent as always, especially against Rafael Leao. Rafael Leao used to make some mazy runs, and trying to catch us on the counter, because we dominated this game. We had about 70 something percent possession and all. So yes, we also sorted that out. We also kept a clean sheet. David Raya was good, made maybe 1 or 2 saves. Zinchenko was okay. Calafiori was good at centre back. Kiwior actually gave the assist to Saka. Trossard had a nice game. Like, generally, it was a good game against AC Milan. Of course, I'll have to complain about Odegaard sometimes, but yeah, let me just say it's about the preseason, because Rice also didn't really have a bad game, but it was okay. It was good. It was a good preseason just to see it. This is the first game. Let's see how it goes, because now we're going to be facing Newcastle. Oh my god. Yeah, we are going to be facing Newcastle, but without Isak guaranteed. So also we don't have Gyokeres yet. That's also another thing to think about. So yeah, it's going to be good. The preseason game was good. Wait for I watched the whole game. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of tensing, but I understand it's only a preseason game. If it was a really match, I believe players would have turned up. I still don't see how Gyokeres is going to improve the things that I saw today, if that's how you're going to be playing, because I didn't see where like Havertz missed a chance, or maybe when I said, maybe if this chance found a striker, I could have been inside. Maybe a couple of counter attacks that we had with Martinelli. Yes, maybe those two could say, maybe if Gyokeres was there, maybe could have done something different, or maybe a different left winger, or an attacking midfielder like Eze. So yes, it's not that, it's not really, let's just see how it goes, depending on how the transfer actually goes. So yes, but in terms of whatever is happening at Arsenal and other clubs, yeah, it's good to actually keep up with whatever teams you can be able to keep up with, and be able to share different perspectives from other teams and trying to hear about that. But yeah, we just can't wait to her to the season to start. We see how it will pan out, and after that, we just wait and hope that after the first game of the season, where we would have won at Old Trafford with a goal, maybe 2 or 3 nil goals, to see how we are going to compete for the league, and then Man United can just continue suffering. Because if we lose that first game, I don't even imagine what would happen, especially online, and the credential of Arteta and every other coach that exists in that team. So yeah, that's all for today. It's sorry, it was such anticlimactic, but yes, that's all for today. Thank you for listening to me. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is Gods on Goal. I will see you on the next episode.